Alright, just making sure this is coming up on all the right things. And it looks like the answer is yes. So, may as well get started. So, today we're doing a simul, of course. Hey, why am I getting an ad here? I didn't ask for ads. Jeez. Okay, anyway. So, I'll be doing a few puzzles while we wait for people to join the simul. And of course, anyone who's watching this live can feel free to just jump on in and do that simul thing. There's a simul link on the YouTube page for the simul stream. Okay, but meanwhile, let's do a few puzzles as we wait. I'll be keeping an eye on those who are joining, but first, some entertainment. I don't think this has any time limit. I am perfectly fine with that. Hard to say no to that free pawn. It makes an obnoxious noise every time I get something right. It almost makes me want to get something wrong. Almost. Some of these positions, it really just looks like they did this to themselves on purpose. It's like just too good. And of course, feel free to say hello in the chat if you're new or anything like that. Or returning. Whatever you like. Tricky there at the end where I had to move my king out of check. Hey MK, welcome to the chat. We're just gonna chill here for a little while as I let more people in. Right now we have 3 simulers, all pretty strong, so that's nice. Maybe I'll play well today, we'll see. No promotion for me this time. At the end there's e5 and it wins the knight, in case you were curious about that one. They were giving the bishop on b5 because there's a mate, and apparently it's better to give up your bishop before you resign. If they want it so bad, they can have it. Oh, I guess they don't want it that bad. If they take on d2, there's rook e8 checkmate, so winning some things is nice. good change of pace to win some things. It's important to take with the queen so they don't have queen takes e4 check. What rating are these? It's like increasing rating, I guess. You know, I really should have investigated how this works before attempting. Hold on, let me see if I can give you some useful information. Just need to edit the scene a little bit. Okay, but this time, if you'll forgive me making this ugly for a moment, I just have to stretch this way over here, bring this way over here, and then do this, and go all the way up here, I think. You don't need to see that part. Okay, I think this kind of says it all. Yeah, so pretty easy puzzles so far. I think the 22 is my streak. I haven't really been counting, so I think that's just what it is. And I'll do this for like maybe 10 more minutes while we wait to see if anyone is late joining and wants to play as well. Of course, anyone who's joining us for the first time, don't be shy. Just click that join button. I am most likely to embarrass myself here. None of you anonymous viewers. This is the first one where it's not like maybe totally obvious what to do. But I still think it's this. For that one, if I take the rook directly, there's some annoying checks, and then like they can push their pawns and maybe survive. So it's better not to let your opponent survive. That's like the first rule of chess. If your opponent doesn't survive, it's better and you win the game. So you might have to employ some strange strategies to implement that advice, but you know, anything to win the game, I guess. I can probably just win this bishop, yeah. Maybe just take a queen. Maybe just check a king. Yeah, I don't see why not. Maybe just don't lose my queen. There's a mate threat on f7, so they have to give the queen. And this is more or less easy money because they don't have any good moves at this point. I think king g... Well, why would they ask this question? Because it shouldn't matter, right? Where I put this one. I guess if I don't play king g7, they can play c4 and win back a piece. So that makes sense. I think either way black would be better there, but who am I to judge? Who am I? I could just win a piece. Seems okay. Okay. Christos Akbar, welcome. Yeah, Gamblik, you can definitely join. I'll play you. I think you might have... maybe you are Christos Akbar. Okay, we have like 7 more minutes to start the simul, so more people can still join if you're watching. Maybe double attack, because there's a back rank mate. I should be able to just move my queen like anywhere, right? I guess f3 is the only safe spot, so that's why they're asking. e5 looks like it could win something because there's a big pin, like e5, knight d5, bishop takes. If knight takes, then bishop takes rook, and if rook takes, then we take on e7. So I think that makes sense. This looks like a king hunt, perhaps. Yeah, very hunty. First thing that came to mind was bishop d2, but maybe something else. Rook f3. It's a kind of nice little checkmate there. Okay, so right now we have 4 for the simul. That's pretty nice. I can't play you on chess.com. This stream is for a simul, so I'm not going to switch platforms just to play you, sorry. I guess just take that piece. This is some king and pawn endgame witchcraft, so probably just do that. Our king appears to be in some danger, so probably it's good to start throwing checks. And get that queen out of the way. Here I can get a queen, but it'll be against 2 pieces. Yeah, I think it's probably best. There we go. Queen a5 at least wins a piece. But how do I want to win a piece? I can take, they take on e4. This is probably fine. Okay, starting pretty soon, guys. Raw Onion, welcome. This looks like some kind of Boden mate type scenario. I wonder if I should put bishop a6 first or queen a8. It doesn't matter. Well, intuitive is to play queen a8. And then like knight d5 or knight a4. Probably knight d5. But probably it's simple, just take that. I don't think anything could really go wrong with playing rook d7. Yeah, why not? Okay, 3 minutes, then we'll start the simul. Welcome, Badger. I think rook c7 is in order. Hold on, does it work? Rook c7. Yeah. I should not let them take on e7, so I'll take that one. 2 more minutes, and then we'll start our simul. Interestingly, so queen f3 is like 2 minor pieces for a rook, as far as I can tell. But I think it's winning more material to play bishop c2. Oh, okay. Looks like I have only 1 strike in this game mode, but this is a good time to lose anyway. Queen f3 is definitely better. But is queen c... is this also winning? Let's see. Oh, I missed knight c3. Oh well. It's fine. It's the right time anyway. Raw Onion. So whenever you guys leave the window, it kicks you out. So I think that's probably what's going on for you guys. If you are like leaving and entering the simul repeatedly, it's just like when you leave the window, it kicks you out. So try to keep that in mind. All right, we've got 6, looks like. Yeah, sorry to disappoint Gund. That I will not switch to chess.com. You can join the simul on live chess, however, of course. Oh, well done on the split screen. You know, we have like 30 seconds left in this. I think this is probably all we're gonna get, so I'm gonna click start. Good luck to everyone. Let me just make sure everything's looking good enough. Yeah, it could be adjusted a little bit. Sorry guys, just a little last minute cosmetic stuff. I want you guys to be able to read the notation on the board during the simul if you are into that. Okay. Oh, okay, I understand. Alright, so let's play the same thing against everyone this time. Oh, auto switching should be on. Yes. Alright, good luck. And good luck. And good luck. Lots of luck to everyone. Okay. Christos Sakvar is playing something brave, maybe a gambit. We'll see. But I'm going to maybe not take that gambit any further. Things are looking a little Slavy out here in the d4 gang. Okay, knight f3 is an interesting move, kind of insisting on playing a gambit, but I feel pretty happy about taking this pawn on e4. Maybe they will show me why I'm incorrect. I remember it's important to take with the knight in that kind of position. At least I think I remember that. August is choosing c6. Interesting idea. I remember August wanted to badly play this line against me not so long ago, so I figured I'd give him a chance in this tournament. I mean, simul. But c6 is sort of an odd move. I guess I'll have to think about it a little bit longer to decide if it's a fine move. To me, it doesn't look that good. There could be some ideas that work here, though. So now the question is, how do I want to set up my pieces? Something a little bit Karo-Kani about this position. The ever so solid Karo-Slav structure. Ever so Slav, what am I saying? Well, I don't see why I shouldn't play just on principle here. Bishop c4, interesting. Very active play from white here. Although I don't know if I really trust this kind of activity. I don't think it's enough for white. Oh, okay. So MK said he forgot his prep. Well, I'm not worried, don't worry. I was interested to see what you had prepared, though. If you ever want to talk about it, you know, if you remember, we can always discuss on Discord. So d5 is a move that makes a lot of sense. Knight c3 is the move that I would be most likely to play in this position on a regular basis, but I think here I will play c4 just to entertain Mount Fiant. g3 in the Slav is an interesting choice. I feel sort of provoked, actually. Bishop to b3. I was expecting white to try to play bishop b5 to sort of keep the tempo, but naturally that also allows black to finish development, so I don't think bishop b3 is so terrible. I have to admit I'm suspicious, however. Maybe a simple ordinary move is in order. So obviously I have to move this knight. I mean, maybe it's not that obvious, but should probably move the knight here. I just have to decide where I'm going to put my other pieces based on my choice of knight move. I think it doesn't matter enough for me to think about it further. c5 is an interesting choice in the Slav. I'm not sure about it though. Like I've always kind of done well against this structure where they play c5, but I mean in general, like positions with the blocked pawns where white has invested a lot of time to play pawn to c5. But there must be some situations where it's good. I'm just not sure if this is one of them. So typically when someone plays like c5 trying to clamp things down, you immediately undermine it with b6. I have half a mind to try something different, but I also don't see like what could be wrong with using the prescribed plan. Okay, so white has pretty good development at this point. Maybe they have some compensation for the pawn. Now after e6, black doesn't have any bishop g4 ideas that they used to have. So that's kind of maybe encouraging for me. Black's development is very slow, and the position's kind of unfamiliar to me. So it's tempting to just say, like, you know, I'm going to go attack them, but I'm not sure that will actually work. I do have time to kind of mull it over. I think it's too early for something super aggressive here. It'll be nice, but probably it's not happening. Well, one thing I think is true, that I should throw c4 at this point. Knight d7 is a good move order for black here, so Badger is playing pretty well in the opening. I don't think I'm forced to take on f6, but I should probably do it right now. Okay, interesting. So he's played g3, which basically is a loss of time if he doesn't play bishop g2. But now that I've taken on c4, he's switching and playing e4. Very interesting. So he kind of wants to take on c4, but at the cost of tempo and some maybe stability on the king side. But I don't think I have to comply. Okay, queen e2. This move doesn't really threaten me as far as I can tell, so I feel pretty good about it. Yeah, e6 seems perfectly good. Now here, I don't think I'm really in a rush, so I could play like bishop e2 and castle here without any real issues. At the same time, bishop might be better placed elsewhere. Or maybe I actually should hurry to do something active here. Future Master on Twitch, why is the simul so early? Well, I had a scheduling conflict, but I didn't want to cancel on you guys, so I moved it earlier in the day. I asked people on Discord if it worked, and it worked for several people, so that's why it's early. Yeah, I'm sorry if that impacted your plans. It also impacts my plans, unfortunately. Let's see. Well, I don't think there could really be anything wrong with taking over this outpost square, so I think that's what I'll do. Okay, this is an old school Caro-Kann line, and now we're probably gonna trade the light square bishops. Okay, so now I can get my other knight into the game. I'll just put the knight back on f6. I think that's a pretty savvy decision, at least in my first assessment, because with the knight on f6, the king is much safer for now. So I kind of agree and approve. So I'll just castle here. Interesting. Krista Sakbar isn't developing any queenside pieces. So there should be some way of capitalizing, I think. Maybe just simple development still. Yeah, that seems right. Okay, so Mount Fiant got his pieces fully developed, and I have yet to do the same. It's maybe good that I held off on developing the light square bishop, because I do have other options, as we will hopefully see. Okay, so Wombat Horse is creating a threat, perhaps, to play e5. I have to decide if I really respect that threat. But I also could just, like, avoid it by developing my queen. I don't think that's really ridiculous either. Another downside of the move g3 is that if I play h6, then bishop h4 is met by g5, potentially. Downside of that could be that they actually want to get rid of my knight on f6 for some reason. So I might just be forcing them to do what they want, so I should probably think about that. Yeah, you future master. I know you have school. I figured this would be a sacrifice. August doesn't seem so happy about his position. I might have to go back and see what he's up to. I think I'll just throw h6 and see how he likes it. I think that keeps things pretty simple, and since this is a simul, it might be better for me to keep it simple. Okay, so I could put this bishop on f4. I'm feeling a little adventurous. Maybe I should play bishop f4. There might be some differences that I don't know, though. Yeah, I'll play it anyway. Let's see. Bishop f4 is finishing the queenside development, maybe, after all this time. But I rather like my prospects here. In fact, I don't feel very endangered whatsoever. That could be just an illusion of control, but I feel like it's real for now. All right, so we have h6 from Mountfiant. That's an interesting decision. I'm not sure it gets my stamp of approval. To me, that looks like something for me to attack. But that could just be because I'm, like, insane about trying to attack. It's probably better not to get carried away by delusions of grandeur. Maybe I could just play a simple move here. White g3. Now knight c3 finishes the development for white in this game, but it does allow me to take on f2, which I think is probably fatal. Yeah, you future master, I think the days are just too busy during the semester for really anyone. It's kind of a crapshoot who's able to participate in our events. I feel pretty comfy taking that, even though there are some complications. This is fine. Oh, fine. It's playing fast and loose with rook c8. I think bishop h3 is fine. King f1 is dodging my threat to discover check the king, but it does allow me to just take the rook anyway. I think I will. Yeah, the knight's unstable on f2. Yeah, so I see why August is swearing in the chat. He fell for my little trick, I think, assuming my trick actually works. So he took a free pawn on d4, but his development's not done, so he's running into some difficulties. All right, knight d4 is interesting because it highlights a difference between a line that I play more often and this one. Usually I'll have a pawn on c3 in this position, but now I have a pawn on c4. So when he plays knight d4, it creates some chances to attack the c-pawn as well as just occupying that outpost square. So interesting position so far. I still think this goes pretty well with my intentions for the position, however. So maybe I'll take this one. Knight a4 is an interesting choice. I didn't really think that would be what's going on here. So b6 is a target. But all the pawns and everything in the center, they're all just kind of hanging loose. And if I take here, if I take here, white has a lot of options that I need to consider. So I think I'll just develop my pieces some more. I think that's okay. Okay, so my king still hasn't castled. I think that's the main thing that is operating in white's favor at this moment. So I should probably just, you know, GTFO. E5 gains some space for black. Makes sense. I'm sorry, for white. But I still like my position. Probably some care should be taken, just because the queen could become misplaced rather easily. So I might just go back to d8. I think that's simple, and simple's good. All right, now after f takes e6, black is reclaiming control of the d5 square, so they're the only one with an outpost. But they lost maybe their better bishop, and their king side's looking a little bit weak. So things could go either way with that. I just have to move my knight, so I will. Okay, so this is what I expected. Normally I put my bishop on d2, but so after queen a5, I have to put the bishop on d2 anyway, I think. I mean, if I want to keep things similar to what I'm accustomed to. Interesting. There's some sacrifices maybe occurring on h7. But I'm willing to declare that I see no ghosts. Knight d4 is my intention, so I'll just keep on with it. I think I should probably address that issue. Queen a5 and bishop b4 is probably a good way to set this position up, because now I probably have to play c3, and this could provide some targets for black later in the game, so it is a concession for me to play that move, but I'm willing. Somebody named Ulix is watching. Ulix, if you're out there, I'm saying hello to you. In a circle says it's either gone horribly wrong or horribly right. I'm kind of for the horribly right, just for the the feel good aspect of that. Okay, I've never played this, so I'm not entirely sure how to conduct the position. Alright, I'm going to try knight e4. Just improve my knight. Now that they've castled, I should probably get rid of this knight on c3, because I think this is maybe white's best minor piece, because they could do something like this eventually. But I also don't know if if it's urgent for me to do so. I think I will, just for sake of discovery. Now here both queens are hanging, so I could just play queen takes g5, and I think that's just grand. If they throw me a check, I can block with my queen, I should be okay. Maybe get this knight in. And this comes with check, so I expect that to be pretty good. b5 is very active. I wonder if it's too active. I think either way I have to react the same way. Like, I should just get rid of that. Yeah, maybe just don't lose a piece. That sounds pretty good. And here, I think it is, as they say, a matter of technique. I can just start trading pieces and should be fine. I wonder if I've made this position too interesting. Yeah, maybe too interesting. I kind of would prefer black, honestly, in that game. So the knight's going to e4. Should probably not lose my c-pawn. I see no reason not to activate my king here. Bishop e7, interesting move. I guess just trying to play knight f3. or something like that. Mainly something. It's hard to choose, really. I think I choose this one. Knight e5 looks like a useful move, but it also doesn't finish development, so I'm wondering how I'm doing here. Maybe I'm doing okay. At any rate, it's good that I don't have to take it, I think. And yet, I also feel that taking is probably not that bad either. Maybe it's just giving them doubled pawns that could be exploited later on. You know, I'll try it. Let's see. It could be fun. So knight d6 is coming in with check, so maybe I shouldn't allow that. I feel like Wombat Horse always has some kind of good position against me. Queen a5 looks active. And why not? Just on principle, I should probably like castle my king. So we'll play a principled move here. Knight d6 is taking an outpost square, so that sort of was a I prophesized that this would occur. Just, there were two knights. It's the same thing happening. I don't think I really mind allowing this knight to live, though. Okay, queen b6. Looks like we're reaching some kind of, like, fairly normal Caro-Kann position after all. I think I feel comfy declaring where my king will live. That's okay. Alright, so rook g8's happening. Makes sense, given that if they play king f7, then there's bishop g6. I don't think I can justify further greed here, so probably it's time to rescue that knight. And really, I don't mind rescuing the knight. I don't think that the knight can be, like, deeply, madly entrapped, so probably I will just develop a knight, see what they do. Okay, so my knight's under attack, and I could take, which opens up my rook, could be good. Or I could not take and just use this extra move to get my knight somewhere. But I do feel inclined to use my rooks. I think that could be just grand at some point. Yeah, I think it's a good move. Okay, now when I see kingside castling in a position like this, there's something inside of me that's happy. So I think that this position is already very nice for me. Wandsworth, hello, welcome. I think that I should probably just make sure my king's safe before I do anything active. So, but with the queen on b6, it might be kind of different from usual. I have options and they all look pretty good. It looks like I have one win. I don't know who it was though. Oh, it was the person whom I hadn't met before. So good game to them. I can't remember how to pronounce their name. Otherwise, I would say it directly. I think in this position it's probably better not to play king b1, just because with the queen on b6 I'm stepping more into the line of fire than out of it. So I think even though this helps black activate their pieces, it might be the best way to go. I might have not chosen my squares very well. For where to put the pieces. Probably something I'm not so great at in general. Start feeling kind of creative, do some different stuff that's not so good. Happens all the time. Yeah, I might have to just admit that I made a mistake here. That's unfortunate. This might be risking it for the biscuit. Playing b5, but it looks like an interesting move anyway. Yeah, I actually like b5. Why not risk for some biscuits? Creating some threats for the first time. Feels good, man. So, Auguste is giving me a peace offering of the pawn on g5. My position is so good that I feel like I could just accept the peace offering and also keep attacking him in the face. Not just any attack, attacking him in the face. I think this is still good, so I'll do it. Okay, now I think I might get to reveal my deep, dark purpose for allowing Phoenix to do all these things. Yeah, he can figure out what to do with this. Alright, so now after knight b6, the reason I would say this is a little bit frisky for me is he can take my light square bishop. But I still feel pretty good about this situation, all things considered. Alright, so now the knight is on f6, I can probably push on with knight e5. Just seems right. Queen on f3. Okay, so looks like he wants to win a pawn or something. Frankly, he can be my guest. Yeah, this is probably okay. Alright, so bishop d2 with tempo. Expected. It's what should happen in this world. But I still don't really feel so unhappy about it. I should just choose carefully where to put the rook, because I do have options here. A6 seems pretty good to me. So it looks like August is giving his queen for pieces. Am I missing something here? I think I can just take it. I don't think this bishop's really going anywhere in its life. So I'm not sure about, like, do I care if I keep it on d7? But it might just be better where it is. So maybe I'll take with the queen. Okay, so now I have queen, knight, and 2 rooks. I basically have queen against 3 minor pieces, but his king's unsafe, so I think this is a really good version for me. I think if I just make it hard for him to develop his pieces, I should be okay. So the bishop's blockading on b4. Looks good. But I also think that the dark squares are just universally weak at this point. So let's see how he likes them apples. Yeah, I think that's a good move. Why not? Knight f3 is probably the only move that black had that makes things complicated. So I approve of this message. I think I'm still, like, doing okay, though. A5 is coming from my king, but very, 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 very slowly. So here goes G4. Three pieces for a queen is not always winning. You can convince yourself, though. You also have to be able to hold on to your three pieces. So let's see about that before we celebrate anything. And you know, I can always blunder, so it's not like it necessarily matters that much. You know, if you can stay in the position, at some point I will probably make a mistake. Looks like my center's blowing up. Maybe I went into some theory I don't know. Alright, so Phoenix is giving his queen to avoid mate, it looks like. I wonder if I even want the queen. Probably I should, because it's like, you know, easy to win up a queen. I also get to keep my really good outpost knight. Like if I take the queen, he moves the knight, I put my knight back on d5. Looks pretty good. So that's probably the way to keep things not complicated whatsoever. But there might also be a mate here, so I feel somehow obligated to like find the mate. No, I'll just take the queen. That's fine. Keep it simple. Just play a move here. Keep things simple. Maybe I got my move order wrong here. I had some other interesting ideas, but they might still be in the position, so maybe I'll just mention them later. Should probably not go down a piece. I should probably react to this threat with bishop c3. Yeah, this isn't looking so good for me. It's like good play by Wombat Horse. Looks like Phoenix also resigned, so good game to Mount Fiant. Alright, so I think I'm just in the nick of time to generate some counterplay here. I could also just be dead wrong and having a hard time. Simple game 2. Yeah, you're right. Thanks for dropping in. And yes, I should just take the queen. But am I wrong to say I feel like a little honor bound to like find a checkmate if it's there? I felt like that was in the job description or something, you know? If there's checkmate, you find it. Something like that. Alright. Gotta move a little fast here. I know I have 20 minutes, but there's still 3 games going. It could be difficult. Let's see about this rook endgame. Yeah, I figured this was his point. The thing about that is my queen's not trapped, so I still feel pretty good about my position. It's hard to untangle here as black, even though you have the 3 pieces for a queen that everybody loves. I think I choose this way to escape my doom. Alright, so rook game might be happening. Yes, no counterplay. absolutely. He resigned, in fact, when I gave him no counterplay, taking the queen. So it reminds me of Chernev's book about Capablanca and his endgames, where he said that even though Capablanca did not finish the game like in the fastest way all the time, he often would bring his opponent to the point of resigning the fastest because their position would become hopeless before mate is actually approaching. So Chernev's thesis was kind of that this is something to aspire to try to be like that person who makes people resign out of depression. I do feel a little need to be precise here, even though I think white is better. Because it is objectively true that if black activates the pieces, it's good for them. The Master John, welcome. Just chilling, playing a simul here. A little bit earlier in the day than normal, because my schedule is a little wonky as usual. I don't see anything wrong with this move, so I'm just going to do it. I think just to like really put it in their face that I don't care if my light squares are an issue, I'll play h5. But I don't know. Maybe I should not be so bold and brash. Belonging in the trash, something, something. But I also might be forced to take on b4. This might be the most annoying place to put my queen, so I'll try that. Okay, now the rook endgame is here, on that board. I have an interesting move here. just might even be good. Let's see. So black's finally getting their pieces involved, but I think it's still my time to shine. Because I can finally open the F file. Yeah, it should be fine. F6 is an interesting move. I didn't really think he would play this, but it does kind of go against my idea to play G5. Luckily for me, it also gives me other options that I think are pretty nice, like that one, because it weakens G6. Bishop c2 is an interesting move. Makes a lot of sense. Taking over more of the light squares. And I have to do something with my rook, right? What will I choose? I don't think it's easy to choose here. good to get the king active in the end game. So that's what I'm trying to do. Rook d8, so black's finally getting their last piece into the game. I don't see why I shouldn't just, like, get rid of it, but I could also keep the pressure on. I'm probably winning now, if I had to guess. Yeah, bold definitely does make things more complicated a lot of the time. Sometimes you have to deal with complications, and so it's good to be bold while doing so. You know, if it's complicated either way, you may as well make a power play. That looks pretty good to me. Good old-fashioned double attack on two bishops who can't protect each other because they're bishops and always have been. Always will be. Two bishops can't protect each other. Not directly. Knight a interesting move. It cuts off their idea to play queen f4, at least I think so. But it has some tactical merits to it. Not really this one, but I think it's more or less easy to deal with it. Yeah, I think this is simple. That's where my queen really wants to be anyway. If I asked the queen, hey, where do you want to be? That's what it would say. It would scream it out. Now here I think I'm winning a piece. I wonder if this was like a misclick or something. It feels pretty good to me. Or maybe it's like a cheap shot waiting to happen, like they're playing queen d2, just hoping I'll do nothing, and then they can play bishop h7. Like rook takes and then bishop h7. But I think I get the rook first. This is a mixture of like what I wanted to happen and also a bad situation for me, because I'm still a pawn down. But I might be okay. Yeah, it's okay in a circle. It happens to all of us. Yeah, I figured you wanted to play queen d3 threatening mate or something like that. I think the most likely outcome here is a draw. Oop, no pre-move for me. Okay, so now I get knight g6 and queen e6 possibilities. Really got it going on here. Yeah, I don't see why I shouldn't just go for the kill. Looks okay to me. I think In a Circle resigned, so good game. Thanks for playing. And also thank you to the follow from Copa Delamu. When you say I dare you to a match, it gives me flashbacks to kindergarten when people dared each other to do strange things. I'm playing a simul right now, and I probably will be wrapping up right after that just because I have another obligation, but we could play another time when I'm doing playing with the viewers type stuff. So feel free to drop in for a future live stream. I usually schedule them a few weeks ahead of time, so you should have plenty of time to prepare to face me in a dare match face-off. So right now we have 2 games left. 3 games left in the simul out of 6 total players. Everybody's fought very hard and very well so far. Okay, so maybe black has managed to muddy the waters slightly by giving the peace offering of the e6 pawn. But I still like my position. I'm tempted to do something else that's kind of bold, but it's probably not a great time for it. Let me see what I can come up with here. Yeah, I should probably not just allow some kind of attack, like counterattack to occur. So this should more or less nip that in the bud, I think. It's probably time for drastic measures. Which is, as everyone knows, the most dangerous kind of measure. Okay, so now it's down to Wombat Horse and Badger Sputum. Looks like In a Circle resigned. Good game. Or maybe, who else was playing just now? I have a hard time remembering, honestly. Also, shout out to all the people who recently bought merch. I see the orders are going out, and I'm glad you guys are liking it. Let me know how the various items are. Oh yeah, good game, MK. August. A rough finale there. I think it was an exceptional case where 3 pieces isn't good enough. b5 is interesting. It prevents bishop a5, which I think would have clarified the situation considerably. Gives me some chances maybe to go wrong. I can probably take twice on b5 and still be winning. Yeah, thinking back on the game with August, I'm not sure if you had a way through to equalize. Okay, so this should prevent some of the active possibilities here. It was +1 at one point. Do you mean in your favor? For black? If there was like just one path to become slightly better, I still feel like my judgment was probably right about how to play this. A check makes some sense. I think I have to do that, so we'll just go right ahead. Luis, good to see you. What is the thumbnail for this video? I don't remember setting it, honestly. I should check it. It's probably like some funny auto-generated, me doing like some weird face. Oh yeah, it's the orange glasses. That's right, from the U.S. Amateur Team East a few years ago. Yeah, I automatically uploaded that, so I forgot about it. Yeah, I guess when people take my photo at tournaments without my permission, I may as well make the most of it, right? Yeah, that was a good one. Okay, so again, I think I have few options. Yeah, I was in Chess Life. I think maybe twice, but the one that I remember was with what's the word for it? It was when I went to Millionaire Open. I think the photographer, some famous photographer, took my picture there. That's what the deal was with that one. How to win. A short story. All right, I'm going to try this one. Let's see how that goes. I'm in check. Oh no. It's a mad world. I heard the team tournament was not that big this year, but it's such a huge tournament that I doubt it really made a big difference in terms of like the atmosphere in the playing hall, or should I say playing halls, because it's such a huge tournament. If anyone who's never played the U.S. Amateur Team East tournament, sorry, if anyone has never played it, you guys should definitely consider it at some point. It's a nice tournament. I probably have to deal with that. Knight d6 is kind of expected, makes sense. I don't know if I'm feeling so cooperative. Gotta catch me in a better mood to do such things. But I don't know how I want to be uncooperative. Well, at the very least, they can decide how to handle that one. What's with all these good moves? You guys gotta stop playing such good moves against me. It's really starting to hurt my feelings. Oh, okay, so Kings and Queens Chess Academy swept by winning 4 sections. What's the total number of section prizes that they give out? Yeah, and basically 3rd place in a 3rd section, or a 5th section. That's nice. The US Amateur Team East has so many prizes, it's kind of tricky to even recollect. What the options are. That just might be forced. Ooh, actually. Not so sure all of a sudden. Oh, what am I doing? Oh, never mind. I can take that. Whew. I thought I did something incredibly stupid. And instead I just did something marginally foolish, which is quite similar. Well, I guess I have to take it, yeah. Otherwise things get too spicy. Let's see how this shakes out. Only 6 sections at the team tournament? Interesting. I thought that they went like through all the classes. I thought there were more than 6, but you know, counting is not my strong suit. I lean on you for that, Luis. That queen's looking a little low on squares, now I think of it. Fairly lacking. Rook f6 is pretty accurate. It might still be a draw, though. I think I have to accept that we're going to this 3 against 1 endgame. Alright, I think now I have something operating in my favor. Oh no, that's just a hallucination. That was kind of dumb, actually, for me to do. Okay, so I made a serious mistake, it looks like. I might have to resign just so I can get going in time, but we'll see about that. Knight e4 is a big mistake, I think, because when they take on d2, I take back with the bishop. So maybe if I play queen f5, they take. Finally, let me see. I have 2 minor pieces against rook, and I think that should be winning. But I have other options here too, so maybe I need not be hasty. Nah, queen f5 is just very, very reasonable. Even this might have been foolish. But white played very well in this game to reach this point. I will probably have to study this game later on. I'm just biding my time. I don't really have other options as far as I can tell so far. I feel pretty good about my position there. I don't think anything could be wrong with this move, so I'll just throw it down. Well, this is interesting. If they really must defend like that, I feel pretty good about my position. Just gotta improve my king here, because that's what you do in the endgame. Improving my king. I mean, not really, but whatever. My job is a lot easier than it is for a wombat horse. That's what they get for getting a good position. They become obligated to win that position. It takes a lot more work than me just sitting here moving my king and my rook. I'm chilling, honestly. Okay, so Badger Human plays g5. Bold and brash, or belongs in the trash. Hard to tell. This could go to pure rook against two minor pieces. But I think it's more likely to go to pure me winning against their pieces not doing so hot. I have half a mind to just not even like bother taking on g6, because that probably is conferring some counterplay. For instance, how do they even guard f6 is kind of a good question. Well, I don't see why I should get outplayed with rook against two minor pieces in a position like this. Got to get that pawn rolling. That's how it works. Past pawns should be pushed or something. Something like that. Just making my king a little better. Don't mind me. Hope I didn't do something silly there. Nope, looks like I did just fine. Everything's fine. It's nice when you're at a tournament and you come back like 4 hours after your game ended and a few people are still playing endgame, so you can just kind of go casually check it out while you're fresh after they've been agonizing over it for like 7 hours. And thank you for the follow from Rip Brady Hanks. Oh, NT Brady Hanks. It's a little hard to read sometimes. Thanks for dropping in. I think I'm about to make a draw here against Wombat Horse. Alright, that should be winning. This is a draw now. Lucky me. And I don't mind playing it out, because it looks like that's the direction this is going in. Show you how it's done. Whenever you have to step away from the pawn, always step directly back. Not to the diagonal, always straight back. And if you just do that over and over again, like always block the pawn, always block the king, you should be a-okay. Yeah, I rescheduled the simul because something came up, so I'm sorry about that. But I am going to be simuling pretty regularly. So hopefully you'll get a chance in the really near future, like maybe a week from now or maybe 3 weeks from now, something like that. Okay, now I can take their rook. Alright, good game. That's a stalemate. Doesn't happen very often for me, so just savoring that for a second. Alright, that works for me. And now it's checkmate time, so bring the king in. Good game, Wombat Horse. If that was some opening prep on your part, that was pretty nice. I like that. That got you such a good position. It's too bad it wasn't enough to win. The rook endgame we got is a theory draw. It was very important not to trade off my last pawn for the g pawn. It's kind of easy, but it's not winning. At least just, I think there might be some cases where it's winning, where you can like get your king very active, but I didn't think that that was one of them. And I think that's why I survived, even though you got a very good position. Alright, at this point I'm just going to promote, probably. Or mate. It's always nice to give a checkmate. Yeah, also I almost never reschedule. So if you really want to play simul, you can pretty much count on it. When I put it out ahead of time, I almost never have to switch. For me, the simul is like a good way of staying in touch with the game because I don't really get to play very often. So when I simul, I get to play several games at once, and I think that's kind of a great way to pack in as much chess in my time as I can. I think it's better to play some long time controls in a simul than to play like just a few blitz games. It keeps it interesting and fresh. I think it's mate coming up. Wombat Horse made an interesting claim. They said that they didn't prep anything, but they got a really good position anyway. Yeah, maybe it was just a good matchup. You knew how to play the position, I didn't. And good game to Badger. Yeah, this is a really good position. I mean, good simul. Alrighty, I really have to run. So I think I'll just catch you guys later. I will put out the schedule for the upcoming simuls and whatever other lessons there are very soon. And if you guys want to see any particular kind of content, especially in the lessons, just drop a comment on one of my videos. I'll always see it and I'll respond. So I bid you adieu until next time, and thanks for dropping in. Take care, everyone.